Alright, here we go. This is 1221. This is Dave Learns Coding. Obviously, this is not about coding today. This is going to be about my iPhone 7. I am not a big gadget guy. I just like things that work, that get out of my way. I'm more like the staff at The Wirecutter. TheWirecutter.com is this review site started by the ex-Gizmodo editor, Brian Lamb, who lives in Hawaii. And basically he reviews products, or his team reviews products, and they pick the best one in each category. The reason why I like that site, before they sold to the New York Times for 30 mil, whatever it is, I still like it now, but the reason why I was so enamored of that site was because they found a new way to monetize their content, and they didn't do it straight from ads. They went, and I know this was old in the internet, but they really kind of perfected the affiliate model, I think. They had high-priced items they were reviewing, and if you click that Best Buy or Amazon button, then they got a cut of it. Of course, you know, there's conflicts of interest with that kind of with those kind of things, but I think they were kind of reassuring and saying, hey, listen, we like research these products for like 60, 70 hours, and if it was bunk, then they wouldn't recommend it. How much of that is true, I don't know, but I really like the site, okay? And they said, quote, iPhone, let me read this to you. Many Wirecutter staffers use an iPhone because it has the highest functionality to annoyingness ratio among the gadgets we own. Basically, they get out of the way. They're not so annoying. And that's kind of the reason why I like Apple products. I don't like the price point. I think it's expensive. But again, if I'm paying for it, then obviously my desire versus what it's worth, is the value of it is matching because I paid for it. That's like you know, economics 101. So here it is. This is it. Okay. Again, I don't want to take the time to make this like intricate, you know, gadget video. So here's the box. I ordered the gold. Why? Because my wife ordered the black, and I didn't want to have two black phones on the counter, and I picked the wrong one. You guys know how it is. Number one, the first thing that really struck me was it's easy. That's how easy it is to unwrap this thing. That's it. There was the unboxing. This was pretty quick actually, just unboxing that thing. Now, here we go. Let's see what I hope the contents don't fall out. Oh my goodness, and there it is. What is it exactly? Well, designed by Apple in California, that's great. Made in China. All right. And we're gonna talk about Made in China a little bit later on this show. I don't even have a name for this show yet. Okay, so it looks exactly like my old iPhone, my iPhone 6s. So here it is, gold. I got gold because everyone else has black, and again, I think I just went over that. Yeah, I did. Okay, so here's my 6s. It looks virtually is this anything, is there a difference in this thing? So that's what it is. Looks exactly the same. iOS 10, iOS 10. The only difference in the back, it says that you know, this one's a little scratched up, but it also says iPhone S because it's a 6S. All right, so let me put my old phone down. I already, you know, disconnected it. Oh, by the way, I am so happy that I'm on T-Mobile Jump program. I know it's been discontinued, but I've been grandfathered in. I haven't used it in like a year to get a new phone, but when I called for this phone, my old phone was $27 a month. This new one, the 7, is $27 a month. So I figured, hey, I get new phones every 2 years anyway, might as well upgrade. And my wife did as well. The only bad thing is I have to actually fix my screen before returning it, because you guys know they will charge you for the full amount unless you have insurance, okay? Which doesn't cover much anyway. I'm gonna take these out too, boom, boom, boom. It's just, you know, just take a look at any website, you'll see it. Better than this, I guess. Just take a look at any website and you'll see it. I don't want to open these now. They're just earphones. Who uses earphones at my age? I'm driving all the time, going to work, coming back home. So I Bluetoothed it up in the car. I really don't have a need for earphones. Unless at night I'm watching something right before I go to bed, thinking about, I do need earphones. Let me just first state that this is not about an iPhone or the features and all that stuff. I just want to go over some of the things that other people say about the phone and see if you guys agree with it. Okay, and I did a little bit of research, and I tend to stick with sources that I trust. So here we go. Antenna. Let's go over the design. And again, let me go over this very quickly. But for me, it doesn't really make a difference. Some of these things, these design elements. For example, you can still see the antenna on the gold one, they say, on the Verge. In the black and the matte black, you don't, but I don't have that. Number two, the camera bump is enlarged. It's protruding out a little bit more than the old one. Is that true? Yes, I would say so. I would definitely say so. Okay. I'm not gonna do B footage of this. Okay, you guys have access to T-Mobile or AT&T or whatever, Verizon, anywhere you guys go. There's no headphone jack, and that is true. There is no headphone jack. Again, I told you my use cases are very limited to the car, coming home, Bluetoothing. I just made that up, okay? All right, the home button, they say is, what do they say? Taptic engine jolts. Is that different from haptic? I guess so. It makes a feeling of a click, but it's actually not moving at all. Huh, that's kind of interesting. Well, we'll take a look at that later, or maybe not. The display, as you guys know, it's a wider range of colors. Yeah, it's a good display. Every Apple display is pretty good. I'm actually kind of surprised that they discontinued the 27-inch monitor, 4K, 5K monitor that they had, and they let LG make it. There must be some... It just actually doesn't make sense to me to have some other manufacturer or another brand make an Apple monitor. I know it could be... Am I in focus? I know it could be kind of... it's not making tons of money for them, but you know, as I was reading a book called The Content Trap, they had an interesting point. Some parts of the business are they are complements, and I think the most riveting example that they used was iTunes. They create $10 billion, or they generate $10 billion of revenue, but they don't see a dime of that basically, or very little of it, because they have overhead, they have to pay out the third-party people on the App Store. But, I mean, did I say iTunes? I meant the App Store. There's like $10 billion of revenue generated from that. And they're paying out, they have overhead, they have employee costs, etc., etc., etc. And they see very little of that left over. That surprises me. But the guy, Bharat Anand, he makes a lot of sense. He's saying that they kind of trap you into their ecosystem, or he uses different terminology, but basically that's what it is. They're basically giving away the razor blades so they can charge for the razor, or they're giving away the razor and they're charging for the razor blades. And I think that's true. Once you have certain, but what doesn't make sense to me is these apps are everywhere. So, but it does coincide with how Apple kind of shot up. Before they were making the best so-called computers, the best devices. But it wasn't really until they really opened up their platform a little bit for other third-party developers to come in and kind of create this complementary business where they would open up the platform, people would join, and there's network effects involved. So now developers want to develop for Apple, and then more people want to join, etc., etc., etc. I did a very poor job of explaining that book, The Content Trap, but so far I've read about a third, maybe 40% of the book. I'm really enjoying it. You guys, the examples of IMG, how they became this huge sports marketing agency, and some other examples in there. I really like it. I think it's very useful in this day and age to understand how there are connections that we have to focus on: user connection, product connections, etc., etc., etc. So back to the iPhone. Now here's the iPhone. I'm gonna take off this thing. Okay, so I've taken it off. Let's see. I'm gonna turn it on, and everything should be backed up into my iCloud. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't done it yet. So I'm gonna press pause right here, and I'm gonna I'm gonna wait for this thing to turn on. Wait for this thing to turn on. Hola. Okay. I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna let this run a little bit. Now, you know, again, go ahead. Check on The Verge, Walt Mossberg, The Wirecutter, and I think that's it. I don't really read CNN anymore. I think that I used to, but not anymore. So go ahead, check them out, and they're gonna talk about the camera being, you know, f1.8 lens, a dual camera system for digital zoom. Also, you're able to do these wild focus and depth of field adjustments, like the Litro camera. They're gonna talk about the A10 Fusion chip, makes it more powerful. They got rid of the headphone jack so that it creates more room for a larger battery. With the efficient processor, the iOS improvements, you're supposed to get 2 hours more battery life. Who knows? We'll see. Again, is it really that big of a deal though, battery life? I'm not sure. It's not gonna prevent me from buying an iPhone, but it will prevent me from buying, maybe it'll prevent me from buying an Android device. That's just the way it is right now. Water resistant, that's great. I've lost a phone. I lost a Galaxy S5 in the pool because I jumped in not knowing that it was in my pocket. And let me just go through this very quickly. So far from The Verge, they got a 9 out of 10. From Wired Magazine, they got 9 out of 10. And Walt Mossberg obviously recommends it, but he also says, quote, "This new iPhone just isn't as compelling as upgraded as many of its predecessors. Some might want to wait a year for the next really big thing and maybe a better audio solution to boot." Ooh, okay. Again, it's an iPhone. An iPhone is an iPhone. So let's see how it goes, but I'm expecting for it to take 1, great pictures, 2, be seamless in the integration of all of my other apps, and although Android does a pretty good job. I actually like the Google phones too, but anyway, it just works, and that's what I love about it. It just works. It's simple, it's easy to understand. I sound like a total Apple fanboy, and I kind of am, but I'm also secretly waiting for another manufacturer like Xiaomi or something like that, or someone like them to really step up, to really kind of offer an alternative to Apple so that we can kind of see just a lower price point and have a great product. Even the Google Pixel, which I also want. It's like, I don't know how much that thing is, but it's really expensive. It's over $600. And they don't offer on T-Mobile, so I'm still waiting. Although they have the kind of like, if you buy it, we'll give you half back if you return it. But that's not included in my jump program, so I'm not gonna do that. Now today, let's get started with the news. I wanna go over some of the news today, some of the big news, and let's see how this kind of affects, you know, what we're doing, and let's see how this can affect your life and mine. I'm not into how much funding somebody raised or how much profiles of, like, you know, founders, although sometimes that's interesting, especially if it's Elon Musk. I just want to know what's going on, and I kind of want to share that with you guys. I want to have a discussion about what's going on, but I don't want that to be the all-consuming thing of my day. This is supposed to be just like a quick 5-minute thing every day. Pop it in, Bluetooth me in your car, and let's talk. Let's really listen. Let's really discuss. Let's really see what's going on, the changes in the media and technology landscape that are really affecting us. That sounded really kind of professional, but I just want to do this, okay? I just want to see what's going on. I want to hear what you guys think as well. So let's go straight to my computer. Let's see what's on the news today. Here we go.